War for the kingdom of Yah. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Have we heard?
Done.
All right. We're going to get right into our lesson, okay, everyone? Get your notepads, your pens, your papers, whatever you may have to take your notes, your electronic devices. I don't know what you may use. Whatever you may use to jot down your notes, make sure you get to it so you can take good notes, write these scriptures down, because we're going to go into a little bit of information. You are willing to raise your understanding and build upon your understanding as we go into the word of the Most High Yah. The title of today's lesson is 1,000 Years of Rulership. 1,000 years of rulership. 1,000 years. Now, a lot of today's events that we are seeing are leading up to this one major event, 1,000 years of rulership. For the Israelites. Now we have to understand that there are double wisdoms in the scripture. We have to understand that there's double wisdoms throughout the scriptures. And just because some of the prophecies may unfold in the past, that doesn't mean that there were not more than likely that those prophecies more than likely will not end up happening again, because it is a double wisdom. The prophecies are doubled. Let's see that in scripture. Let's go to Job. We're going to go to Job 11, the 11th chapter and the 6th verse.
This is the book of Job, chapter 11, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom.
The secrets of wisdom are the prophecies. The secrets of wisdom are the prophecies. Come on.
That they are double to that which is.
That they are double to that which is. So if the prophet said such and such and such and such is going to happen, and such and forth is going to happen, you can best believe that he wasn't talking about one dispensation of time. He was talking about this may happen in this dispensation of time. But because of the kind of people we are, a disobedient people, a stiff-necked people, this particular prophecy may happen again. Read on.
Know therefore that the Father exalted of thee, that the Father exacted of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth.
We got punished because the prophecy went forth and the prophecy was fulfilled, and we got punished. But you best believe we should have got more than what we got. But he was merciful enough and gracious enough to give us mercy. And he's long-suffering enough to you understand, where we have been disobedient a multiplicity of times, where he has given us another chance. So, 1,000 years of rulership. We need to understand that we ruled at a time where there was no knowledge, there was no laws, and there was no mercy. Because we disobeyed God, we were thrown from our land. Get out of here. He put us out of Israel. But that doesn't mean we didn't rule anywhere else. We ruled in other places all over the world. But let's get the scripture on that. Let's get a precept. Let's get Hosea 4:1. Because we were evil now. We were evil. Hosea 4:1.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 1.
Come on.
Hear the word of Yah, ye children of Israel. For Yah have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
The controversy is because we were disobedient, we're going to be punished. Come on.
Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of Yah in the land.
So not only did we have no truth, no mercy, no knowledge of Yah in our own land, but when we ruled outside of our own land, there was no truth, no knowledge of Yah, and no mercy. And here are some symptoms. Verse 2 give you the symptoms of no truth, no knowledge, and no mercy. Verse 2. Let's get verse 2 right quick.
Verse 2. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing.
Come on.
And committing adultery.
Committing adultery, come on.
They break out.
Uh-huh.
And blood toucheth blood.
And blood touches blood means there's a whole lot of sinning and killing going on. A whole lot of sinning and killing. So it's not new to us not to have knowledge, mercy, or truth. That's nothing new. We did that everywhere we went. Everywhere we went, we was a people without knowledge, without mercy, without truth. And the symptoms behind not having knowledge, mercy, and truth is there was a whole lot of swearing, lying, and killing, and adultery. You see that today. Whole lot of adultery today. And fornication today. Now, because we were outside of our lands ruling in other lands, this millennium rule, or this 1,000-year rule, was called the Dark Ages. And I'm going to give you a time frame. I'm going to give you a time frame. The time frame is from the total and complete annihilation of the Edomite kingdom of the Roman Empire in 496 AD. Completely annihilated. Now, the first time we got them was in 193 with Septimius Cyrenius. It's in 193 AD is the first time we took down the Edomite kingdom, but they came back and we went back and forth. Sometimes you had Israelites on the throne, sometimes you had Edomites on the throne for the next 300 years or so, because we was fighting back and forth for 300 years. We totally wiped them out and annihilated the Edomite kingdom and power structure in the earth in 496. It was under complete and total Israelite rule. And we kept them under the thumb, and we kept our foot on their necks until about 1455. Until about 1455, with the fall of Constantinople, which is Eastern Rome, which was always under Israelite rule and power. We fell. We begin to fall in 1455, and we totally fell by 1492, when Columbus made his great sail and sailed the ocean blue. We was wiped out. It took all but 40 years, almost 40 years, to clear us out of Europe. Almost. Remnants of us were still hanging on in Europe. King James and the Jacobites, they were still hanging on in Europe. But it was totally annihilated by the 1600s to 1700s. They was done. This is called the Renaissance era. In 1492, they came back. But as I said, the prophecy was doubled. Because we went a long time without knowledge, truth, and without Yah, or without anyone to teach us Yah's laws. And we will still go through that after 1492. Let's get that in Second Chronicles 15:3. Let's go there. Second Chronicles 15:3.
This is the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 15, verse 3.
And read on down to verse 6.
Verse 3. Now for a long season, Israel have been without the true father,
and
without a teaching priest.
Come on.
And without law.
We were reckless. We was evil as hell, wicked as hell. Now we was in rulership, true that, but we was evil. Come on.
Verse 4. But when they, in their trouble, did turn unto Yah, the Father of Israel,
Come on.
and sought him, he was found of them.
Come on. Verse 5. Watch this.
And in those times, there was no peace to him that went out.
In those times when we knew not Yah, or we had no knowledge of the Most High, there was no peace, not only with us, but with the other nations as well. Watch this. Come on.
Nor to him that came in. But great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries.
On all the inhabitants of the country was great vexations, because the Israelite was not in their rightful place. All the foundations of the earth are being shaken because Israel is not in their rightful position. Verse 6.
Verse 6. And nation was destroyed of nation.
Come on.
And city of city.
Come on.
For Yah did vex them with all adversity.
Yah still is vexing them with adversity. That's why you see wars in Russia and in Ukraine, and wars in Palestine, and wars and skirmishes all over the place. That's why you see Europe having trouble and problems with America, because the Israelite rule is the rightful rule around the world. We ain't in our right position. So the whole world is going to be vexed because someone is in power who should not be in authority. Now let's go to Revelations. Revelations, the 20th chapter. Let's begin at verse 1.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 1.
Come on.
And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having a key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. Now,
you have to understand that the book of Revelations is filled with metaphors, similitudes, and dark sayings. So when it says having the key of the bottomless pit, this bottomless pit is being spoke of, and we're going to prove this, is Europe. Europe is the bottomless pit that's being spoke of. Verse 2.
Verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So now this is not talking about Yahweh's kingdom. This is not talking about Yahweh's kingdom. This is talking about what we just spoke about, the Dark Ages. Because how in the world are we going to be in a 1,000-year rulership and then let the devil out to do what he did once again? That don't make sense. That just don't make sense. So what is the prophet saying here? What is he talking about? He's talking about the devil, the serpent, which is the adversary, Satan, bound for 1,000 years, is talking about the white man. The white man was bound for 1,000 years. under the Israelite rulership. And he was let loose in 1455. He was let loose in the Renaissance era, what is known as the rebirth, the Renaissance era. That's when he was let loose, and we're now in that little season. We're now in that little season. Read verse 2 again.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
Come on.
Which is the devil.
That old serpent, because that spirit of the white man is an old spirit. The devil. Come on.
And Satan.
And Satan, Hashatan, the adversary. Come on.
And bound him 1,000 years.
We bound him 1,000 years, and we're gonna bind him again in servitude and in slavery. Hold that. Give me Revelations 13 and 10. Let's go to Revelation 13 and 10. Because some of y'all don't believe that the white man deserve servitude. Some of y'all believe that we need to be holding hands with your friendly neighborhood white man and singing, "We shall overcome with him," with the devil. Revelations 13 and 10.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 13 and verse 10.
Come on.
He that leadeth into captivity.
The white man led us into captivity. Come on.
Shall go into captivity.
The white man is going into captivity for 1,000 years. Come on.
He that killeth with the sword.
Come on.
Must be killed with the sword.
He's going to be put to death with that same veracity and tenacity that he did to Israelites. Come on.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
You got to wait on that thing. If you ain't waiting on the destruction of your enemies, then you not waiting on salvation. Let me say it again. If you not praying and waiting on the destruction of your enemy, then you're not waiting on salvation, because they go hand in hand. If you want salvation, you got to pray for the destruction of your enemies, because that's the only way salvation is coming. Some of y'all got Uncle Ruckus fever. You love the white man. Have you ever seen the white man? Looked at his skin, looked at his hair. How beautiful he is. Some of y'all want to be that devil. Let's go back to Revelations. Let's read Revelations 20 and 2 again. 20 and 2 again.
Revelations 20 what?
20th chapter and verse 2.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil.
The devil. Come on.
And Satan.
Mm-hmm.
And bound him 1,000 years.
And bound him 1,000 years. Now, there are people on earth that are literally the devil incarnate. Say it again. There are people on earth that are literally the devil incarnate. In fact, the Bible speaks of a whole nation who of the children of Israel is the devil on earth, and whom are our manifested adversaries who are the manifested adversaries of the children of Israel on earth. The Bible speaks of them. Let's get 1 John 3 and 8. 1 John, the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 8. All the prophets spoke about these devils.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
He that committeth sin is of the devil. For the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of Yah was manifested.
Manifested. So the spirit of this Hashatan or the devil was always to be disobedient and to be wicked in the beginning. That's the natural spirit. That's how the Most High created him. He created evil and he created good. He created him to be evil. That's the spirit of Hashatan, the spiritual demon, Satan. That's his nature. Now you can take on, even if you're not born to be, you can take on that same nature. You can take on that mindset of Esau. You can take that mindset, even though you're not Esau, but you can take on that mindset. And it can become manifested in your life. Read on.
That he might destroy the works of the devil.
And Christ came, the Mashiach, he came to destroy the works of the devil. But John began to say some things that are very interesting here. Very interesting. Verse 9. Come on.
Verse 9. Whosoever is born of Yah doeth not commit sin.
Doeth not. If you have the mind state of Yah, you don't commit sin. So is he talking about everybody? Maybe he's saying everybody in the world, if they got the mind state of Yah, they ain't gonna commit sin. Let's see what our dear brother John gets into. Come on.
For his seed remaineth in him.
So now we're talking about descendants. So because when you talk about seed, you're talking about physicality. You're talking about something that's physically manifested upon the earth. So now we're talking about a physical people. We ain't just talking about something spiritual that's spooky over there. I can just grab hold to the mind of Christ. No. This is something physical he's talking about now. Because seed don't have nothing to do with the spiritual. Seed have everything to do with the physical. Come on.
And he cannot sin.
Watch this. Come on.
Because he is born of Yah.
Verse 10 going to explain further. Come on.
Verse 10. In this, the children of Yah are manifest.
The children of Yah who are the Israelites are manifested with this. They're born with goodness. Have you ever noticed in our community, in the so-called Black and Hispanic community, we just let everybody in? As a matter of fact, we take up for them. That's my white friend. You better leave him alone. They protected in our community because we got goodness in us. We're born with it. Empathy and sympathy. That's a human trait. To have to be empathetic towards a person. That's a human quality. We let them all come in. Come on in, set your stores up, build your gas stations. Come on and make money off of us. We let them right on in the door. You better not say nothing about your Arab friend at the corner store. That's Sam. They're good people.
Your first slave master.
That's Sam them. That's good people. You know. Because they give you 10 cents off your cigarette. So they let you bum a cigarette. They good people. That's verse 10 again.
Verse 10. In this, the children of Yah are manifest.
The Israelites, come on.
And the children of the devil.
The Edomites, the children of the devil, come on.
Whosoever doeth not righteousness.
The Edomite mindset, come on.
Is not of Yah.
So the true descendants of Esau and those who take on Edomite behaviors, which is the Edomite mindset, are not the children of Yah. Come on, watch this. This is why. Come on.
Neither, Salaki. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of Yah, neither he that loveth not his brother.
Neither he that loveth not his brother, because Esau hated his brother. And when you take on the mindset of Esau, it'll cause you to hate your brother as well. You'll find fault in your brother as well. You'll find yourself hating your brother. This is the mindset of Esau. Verse 11, watch this. Brother John is getting heavy. Watch this. Verse 11.
Verse 11. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning.
Come on.
That we should love one another.
So what beginning is John talking about? He's going to tell you. What beginning are you talking about? What happened in the beginning? Remember when we started reading this chapter, he talked about Hashatan or the devil in the beginning was like this, right? So let's go to verse 12.
Verse 12.
Come on.
Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother.
Had murder in his heart. Come on.
And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil.
Because he had unrighteous evil thoughts and wickedness and deeds. Come on.
And his brother, Salaki, and his brothers righteous.
And his brothers was righteous. So Cain was fully taken over by Hashatan, and he became of Satan. And that same spirit is still upon the earth today, working through Esau, through the Edomites. Same spirit. That old serpent. That's why Brother John in Revelation said, that old serpent, the devil, because that's the same spirit working in Esau that was working in Cain. The same spirit. Now let's go to Genesis. Let's see in Genesis what happened. Because it says that Cain was of the devil. And we read that Cain was of Adam. So how did Cain become of the devil? Because Adam is Cain's father. How did now Cain become the child of Satan? The same way Esau became the child of Satan. Same way. Let's go to Genesis 4, the 4th chapter and the 6th verse.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 6.
Read.
And Yahweh said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
Why are you mad, Cain? Why are you mad? Come on.
Verse 7. If thou do well, shalt thou not be accepted?
You're going to be accepted if you do good. Come on.
And if thou doest not well,
come on,
sin lieth at the door.
Not well mean if you are disobedient, then sin lieth at the door. Come on.
And
Watch
unto
this.
thee, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
So this is the most understood scripture in the Bible, verse 7. Verse 7 is the most misunderstood verse in the Bible. I stand by that. Let's read it again. Verse 7.
Verse 7. If thou do well, shalt thou not be accepted?
Come on.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
Watch this last verse. Watch this last sentence. Read.
And unto thee shall be his desire.
Unto thee. So it's two individuals just standing there, apparently, because the Most High is talking to two individuals. He's not just talking to Cain. It's somebody else just standing there. Because he's talking to Cain when he says, if you do well, if you don't do well, then sin lieth at the door. He's talking to Cain. And then he says, and that's the end of that part. He's talking to Cain. He says, and unto thee shall be his desire. Who are you talking? It's somebody else standing there. He said, he says, unto thee, Cain, shall be his desire. And thou, the second individual that's standing there, and thou shall rule over him, meaning Satan. Satan was right there with Cain. Satan is standing there with Cain. He said, and thou, you're going to rule over Cain. You're going to have rule over him. Because if he don't shape up right now, if his mindset doesn't change right now, from unrighteousness to righteousness, then you, Satan, you're going to have dominant and rule over Cain. Now let's see what happened in verse 8. Come on.
Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother.
Come on.
And it came to pass when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
And they did rule over Cain's mind. The unrighteousness, envy, and hatred, and jealousy, and contempt for Cain, for Abel, overtook Cain. And the enemy ruled over him. His desire to take Abel's life took over Cain, and Cain slew his brother Abel. He slew him because he already had murder in his heart, his mind. He was already there. His action, brothers and sisters, just followed his thought. So a lot of that hatred you all have for your brothers and sisters, you ain't far from being a murderer. In fact, the Bible says, if you hate your brother with your heart, you are already a murderer. All that's left is the actual act to do it. That's all, just the physical act, because you already did it in your mind. You already did it in your mind. Let's go back to Revelations. Now that we know who the devil is that's going to be bound for 1,000 years, now that we know that the devil is the white man manifested on the earth as the children of the devil on earth, we know the Father has children on earth, the children of Israel. The devil have children on earth, the Edomite nation. Let's go to Revelations 20:3.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, and verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit.
Remember, the bottomless pit is Europe. We cast them into the bottomless pit, which is Europe. Come on.
And shut him up.
Mm-hmm.
And set a seal upon him.
Come on.
That he should deceive the nations no more.
For 1,000 years, we did that. This is called the Dark Ages. That's why historians call it the Dark Ages, because all of the dark kingdoms we ruled. We ruled Europe, in Asia, in Africa, everywhere. We ruled. There was no white rulership. We canceled that ticket. Alexander the Great, they called him Alexander the Great. He came into power, into rulership in 336 BCE. We canceled that ticket in 496 AD. We canceled that. And we took power from the white man. And he was under our authority for 1,000 years. Let's read it again from the top, verse 3.
Verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit.
We cast him into that bottomless pit, which is Europe, a part of Europe, but he was not functioning in Europe. He was just in a part of Europe, which was the Caucasus Mountains. We're going to get to that, which was the Caucasus Mountains. Read on.
And set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more.
Come on.
Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
Come on.
And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
We in that little season right now. The Renaissance era is that little season that he must be loose. that he must be loose. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah, the 24th chapter. I got a two-part prophecy we want to break down in Isaiah. Isaiah 24, we're going to do verses 20 and 21, and then we're going to do verses 20 and 23. Isaiah 24th chapter, start at verse 20.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24 and verse 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage.
Like a drunkard means the earth is going to shake. The ground is going to shake too. When it says the earth is going to move to and fro, mean land masses are going to be pushed. This is talking about nuclear war. Land masses are going to be pushed, and the ground is going to shake like a drunkard, like a drunk man staggering. Come on.
Verse, let me start again. Verse 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it.
The transgression, meaning the sin upon it, shall be heavy with sin. Come on.
And it shall fall and not rise again.
And that system or that particular kingdom is never going to rise. That particular government is never going to rise again. This is talking about many wars that are happening. World War I, World War II, the last big war, World War III. Verse 21.
Verse 21.
Come on.
And it shall come to pass in that day that Yah shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high.
So who is that? Who are the high ones who are on high? Who is that? Who is that? Huh? Who is that? The high ones that are on high. Come on, watch this.
And the kings of the earth upon the earth.
And the kings upon the earth that are upon the earth. These are the high ones that will be ruling all over the planet Earth. At one time the Israelites was ruling all over the planet Earth. Let's get the second part of the prophecy. Let's go to verses 22 and 23. Second part of the prophecy.
Verse 22. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in a pit.
This is the second part of this prophecy. Those high ones who are now in rulership at the end, in that last day, they're going to be gathered together in the pit of Europe. In the pit of Europe, the bottomless pit. Come on.
Verse 22. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days shall they be visited.
So after many days, after 1,000 years, they're going to be visited, come out again. The Most High, meaning he's going to lift that spirit up off of them, and they're going to come in and overtake us after 1,000 years. And in that little season, during the little season that they are loose, this is what's going to happen in verse 23. Read.
Verse 23. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed.
Come on.
When the master of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion.
So after they're loose for a little season, for a little time, after 1455 to 1492, after they loose for a little season, and after we go through all kinds of manners of wars and rumors of wars and famines and pestilence, after we go through all of that, then here comes the nuclear arsenal where the moon is going to be confounded, where the sun is going to be ashamed. And then after the moon is confounded and after the sun is ashamed, then we're going to see the reign of Mount Zion. Read.
And in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously.
And ancients gloriously, meaning after that nuclear war, we're going to rule again. See, the first part of this particular prophecy is happening in what's known as the medieval times. As I stated before, from 496 to 1492, starting with the fall of Constantinople in 1455. Hope you're understanding me. Hope we're clear. Now, the reason why these Edomite devils are called Caucasians today is because we locked them up in the pit of Europe, and we never let them come out from the Caucasus Mountains. That's where we had them in prison at, in the Caucasus Mountains. Let's get another prophecy in Job chapter 30 and verse 1.
This is the book of Job, chapter 30. In verse 1. But now they that are younger than I,
meaning we are the older brother to Esau through our birthright. We are the older brother than Esau is. Come on.
Have made me in derision.
Come on.
Whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
These are such a base and lower base people that we wouldn't let them. We didn't even want them sitting with our outside shepherd dogs, with our animals, because they'll be out there having sex with our animals. Who else let dogs lick them all in the mouth and stuff like that? Esau. They be rubbing their belly and rubbing their genitals and kissing them in the mouth and all kinds of stuff. They smell like dog. The dog smell like dog. The dog is wondering, what's that smell? Verse 2.
Verse 2. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished.
Come on.
For want and famine, they were solitary, flying into the wilderness in former time, desolate and
fleeing
wait.
into the wilderness. Come on.
You got kind of low. Is something wrong with your mic?
I'm low?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Verse 2 again.
Verse 2.
Verse 3 again. I'm sorry. Verse 3.
Verse 3. For want and famine, they were solitary, flying into the wilderness, in former time desolate and waste.
Mm-hmm.
Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat.
Because they didn't cook their meat. They was in the Caucasus Mountains looking for food. We had them locked up in the pit. Come on.
Verse 5. They were driven forth from among men.
They were what?
They were driven forth from among men.
Because we chased them there. They didn't come out of the Caucasus Mountain originally from the Caucasus Mountains. They came from where we came from what's known as Asia. They came from there. But we pushed them. We pushed them through wars and conquest. We pushed them up into the Caucasus Mountains. Come on.
They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks.
That's the original caveman, the so-called white man. Verse 7.
Verse 7. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together.
Read.
They were children of fools.
Come on.
Yea, children of base men.
Of lower men. They were the lowest of the earth. That's why we didn't want them sitting with our flocks. They would do anything. They would just butt naked up there, not washing, up there eating bugs off each other, doing anything and living in every kind of way. Come on.
They were viler than the earth.
They were viler than the earth. Viler than the earth. Come on.
Verse 9. And now am I their song. Yea, I am their byword.
They turned it on us. In 1455, they came out of there with a vengeance. They came out of there hollering and naked and hairy and funky.
Like they is now.
And the Most High put a spirit on them, huh? And they came at us. We lost them wars. Eventually, we lost them wars and became a byword. We became niggas to them. Let's get Revelations, the 20th chapter again. Let's go back. Let's get the 4th verse. I'm running a little behind, but that's all right. We're going to get through it today. Revelations 20 and 4.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of Yah.
Come on.
And which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Messiah 1,000 years.
So this now is talking about the 1,000-year rule with our King, Yahushua, the Messiah. The first part, the first 1,000 years we was talking about was those dark ages where we ruled in wickedness and under an evil rule. We ruled the first time 1,000 years, called the dark ages, under a wicked system. But now, in the future, we're going to rule again. 1,000 years with the Mashiach, Yahushua as our king, and we're going to rule in righteousness. For example, and it's just a small, short example. In the Dark Ages, when we would rule, when we were in rulership, we made laws such as fornication under consent of the king. Anybody know what that is? Anybody know what the acronyms are? It's where we get a very nasty word from. F-U-C-K. Fornication under consent of the king. It's the etymology of the word. It was a law for kings and noblemen. This is what Israelites did, who gave themselves permission to lie with a man's wife before you did. So if you was getting married, you either married in secret, because if they found out about it, they had to first lie with her first before you did. That was called fornication under consent of the king. And they called it fuck. F-U-C-K. That was an evil law. We read earlier, we read that adultery was prevalent. There was no law, there was no mercy, there was no justice either. It was just unlawfulness. This was the reason why we had to go into slavery.
Something wrong with your mouth.
Can you hear me now?
You real low.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you're fading out. It's real low.
All praises. How about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
This was part of the evil practice of the Israelites in the so-called Dark Ages. Let's go to Daniel. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 22.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
Read it again.
Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth.
No, read it again. Verse 22. Read it again.
Verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
The judgment is going to be given to the saints. The judgment is going to be given to the saints in that 1,000-year rulership. That's the judgment. Come on.
And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
That the saints will possess the kingdom. The saints didn't possess the kingdom in the dark ages because that we were under a wicked mind, an unrighteous mindset. Drop down to verse 27. Drop down to verse 27.
Verse 27.
Watch this. Here's the difference. Come on.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven,
meaning the whole earth, come on,
shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Come on.
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
Come on.
And all dominions shall serve and obey him.
So total world power. This is the second millennium rule. This is the second millennium 1,000-year rule with the Messiah. With the Messiah. Let's go back to Revelations 20 and verse 5.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 5. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years of Yahweh's rule was finished. So this is called the first resurrection. This is the first resurrection. Let's see it at 1 Thessalonians. Go to 1 Thessalonians 4 and 13.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 4, verse 13.
Come on.
But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye shall sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. Keep going.
Yeah, read on.
Verse 14. For if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua.
With them that also that sleep in Yahushua, meaning the dead before he returned. The dead. Come on.
Will Yah bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of Yah, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of Yah shall not prevent them which are asleep.
So if we still alive when Yahushua come, guess what? The dead believers, the ones that died prior to his coming, that believed on Christ, they're going to be resurrected and they're going to come too and live in his kingdom. Read.
Verse 15. For this we say unto you by the word, Salaki. Verse 16. For Yah himself shall descend from, for the master himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yah.
Come on.
And the dead in the Messiah shall rise first.
This is the first resurrection. This is the first resurrection. Come on.
Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the master in the air.
Come on.
And so shall we ever be with the master.
So shall we ever be with the master. Verse 18. I love this. Verse 18.
Verse 18. Wherefore, comfort one and other with these words.
Comfort each other with these words. Let your brothers and sisters know, hey, listen, it might be hard now. You might be going through now. You might be going through tribulation now. You might be having a hard time now. But we're going to comfort each other with these words, because one day we're going to rule. One day we ain't going to have to worry about nothing. We're going to be in rulership. That's why Paul said, comfort one another with these words. I know you're going through tribulation now, but comfort each other with these words. Knowing full well, if we stay obedient, if we stay in the fight, we're going to come out on top. Let's go back to Revelations 20 and 6. Revelations 20 and 6. Let's get it, but let's try to fully understand what's going on here. Read on.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection.
Blessed and holy, set apart are you that has part in the first resurrection. Meaning when he come down and he capture us with him, we go and get caught up with him, and the dead that are believing in the Messiah, they are resurrected with him. Blessed are they that are in the first resurrection. Come on.
On such the second death have no power.
The second death have no power. That's why Paul said, "O death, where's your victory? O death, where's your sting?" That's what Paul died. So how can he say death didn't have the victory when he died? Because he understands, I'm going to be resurrected. That's why he said, death, where's your sting at? Where's your victory? Because I'm getting up in the first resurrection. And I'm going to live forever with the master. Read.
But they shall be priests of Yah and of the Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
1,000 years they're going to be reigned. So this is the first resurrection. What is the second death? What is that? Let's get an example of what the second death is. Let's get 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter. Let's get an example of what the second death is. 2 Maccabees 7 and 14.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 14. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from Yah, to be raised up again by him.
That's the first resurrection. This man is getting ready to get put to death by a heathen. A heathen is about to put this man to death. And he said, it's good, I'm ready. he said, it's good. I'm good, because I rest assured I'm getting up in the first resurrection. I'm going. This is what he said to the heathen. Where are you at? Read that. Read it again.
It's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7 and verse 14.
One.
So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from Yah, to be raised up again by him.
In the first resurrection. Come on.
As for thee,
as
thou
for thee, you
have
heathen,
no resurrection.
As for thee, you heathen, you put, as for you, heathen, is putting me to death. Come on.
Thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
Second death. That's the second death. You ain't resurrecting in life. You won't live in the kingdom. And when you come back, it's going to be the great white throne judgment, and you getting put to death for your judgment, to death for your deed that you're doing today. That's some kind of faith right there. That's faith. I know where I'm going, and I know where you're going. That's faith. I'm ready to go. That's faith. For somebody to say that when you don't know what's for certainty what's on the other side. for somebody to say, I'm ready to go. Question is, where you going? Because I know where I'm going. That's faith. Revelations 20:7. Let's try to get through it all. Revelations 20:7.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 7.
Come on.
And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loose out of his prison.
Come on, out of Europe. This is talking, he going back and forth. Now we're talking about the Dark Ages again. You're going to be loosed out of Europe. Come on.
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth.
Come on.
Gog and Magog.
God and Magog, Russia and Ukraine. Come on.
To gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
Read.
And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about.
Come on.
And the beloved city. And fire came down from Yah out of heaven.
Come on.
And devoured them.
There's nuclear blast. Read. Verse 10.
Verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire.
So this is the devil this is the devil that came up out of Europe with all these problems. The whole world been under the threat of death since the devil came up out of Europe, since he came up out of the pit. We've been under constant threat of death. It's been one war after another. Come on.
Where the beast and the false prophet are,
and
shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne.
And ever. Hold that. Let's get Ezekiel 25. We'll come back to it. We're gonna come back to Revelations. We'll get Ezekiel 25, verse 12. We can't miss this.
Ezekiel, chapter 25 and verse 12.
Watch this.
Thus saith Yah, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them.
Read.
Therefore, thus saith Yah, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it.
Come on.
And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
Read.
Verse 14. This might shake a couple people up.
That's all right.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
We're going to put them to death. We're going to put them to death. We're going to run them raggedly. We read it in Revelations 13 and 10. You live by those that live by the sword, going to die by the sword. We're going to root them out. So if you got a weak stomach, it's too bad, so sad. Come on.
And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger.
We're going to do in Edom according to the anger of the Most High, because he wants vengeance. But he's going to do it by the hand of the children of Israel. We're going to be putting some folk to death and capturing them and putting them in chains and they're going to be slaves and servants. Everybody think we're going to be playing Mr. Nice, be some nice masters. They weren't nice. Didn't they cut your hands off, your genitals, and rape your women? Didn't they do all that? Set you on fire?
And so
we're going to put them folk to death because it just ain't going to be no good. Not for the coming kingdom. They got to go. The whole earth got to get some rest. Earth can't rest because Esau is still in it. Let me get Isaiah 14 and 4.
This is the book
Isaiah
of
14
Isaiah,
and 4.
chapter 14, verse 4.
Come on.
That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased?
Mm-hmm.
The golden city ceased.
The golden city. America has ceased. Babylon has ceased. The oppressor has ceased. Read on.
Verse 5. Yah have broken the staff of the wicked.
Come on.
And the scepter of the rulers.
Come on.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke.
Come on.
He that ruled the nations in anger.
Come on.
Is persecuted, and none hindereth.
Come on, watch this. Verse 7.
Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest.
The whole
and
earth
is quiet.
And it's quiet. Come on.
They break forth into singing.
We're going to have a good time when Esau is gone and then he's in bondage. He's no longer in rulership. We're going to break out in singing. It's going to sound good too.
It ain't going to be no kumbaya.
Ain't going to be no kumbaya. Sure won't. It's going to be a new song. All praises to the Most High. Revelations 20 and 11. Some of this kind of teaching scare folk. If you scared, maybe you ain't going to the kingdom, but I'm going.
Oh.
Revelations 20. Where we at? Verse 11.
God.
Read on.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away.
Mm-hmm.
And there was found no place for them.
This is the second death, family. This is talking about the second death. Read. After the 1,000-year rule of Yahweh. This is
verse
after.
12.
This is at the end of the rule of Yahweh. 1,000 years. Come on.
Verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Yah. And the books were opened.
Mm-hmm.
And another book was opened.
Read.
Which is the book of life.
Come on.
And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works.
He's going to open up the Bible. He's going to open up the scriptures and says, you didn't keep this law. You didn't keep that law. This is the book of life right here. And the only way you're going to enter into the kingdom is if you have kept these laws. You have not kept them. He's going to judge righteous judgment according to everyone that's there. This is the second death. This is the folk that came after Yahweh's millennium rule. He's going to resurrect the whole earth, and they all going to come back from the dead. Everybody is coming. Everyone is going to get up. And that great right throne judgment is Abba Yah. He's going to judge the world. Come on.
Verse 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it.
Come on.
And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them.
Come on.
And they were judged every man according to their works.
According to their works. Come on.
And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Come on.
This is the second death.
This is the second death. This is the second death. That's why we want to be resurrected in the first one. The first resurrection. Verse 15.
Verse 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Cast into the lake of fire that shall never be quenched. It's going to burn forever and ever and ever. All praises to the Most High. We're going to leave it right there. I hope this has opened up some of your understanding on what the 1,000-year millennium rule is. I pray so that it did. As for all of you that's joining us, that's not in the room with us, we pray that your understanding has been open, and we'll see you next time. Yah bless you, heaven smile upon you, give you peace. Shalom, shalom.
War for the kingdom of Yah.